I think it's something along these lines. I think this makes sense.
Hear me out. What if Candace Owens is doing the dirty work on behalf of Erika?
Okay, hold up. So you believe that Erika Kirk is Candace Owens' secret source, and Candace Owens is actually saying all the things that Erika Kirk wants to say, but it's too dangerous for her? Negro, what? Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Didi. I have a treat for y'all today. I did not plan on making this video, but there's a video that is really trending right now, and I wanted to cover it. And just when you think you've heard it all, this comes out. There's a guy by the name of Coach Colin. Coach Colin, if you see this video, I mean no disrespect. This is all in love. Who is suggesting the theory that Erika Kirk is actually Candace Owens' secret source. Now, while myself and many of you would not only disagree, but we have several reasons to, say why we don't believe that this is the case. The only reason why I'm actually reacting to this and making this an entire video is because there is a video we're going to react to towards the end of this clip that actually is probably the best argument you can make in favor of it, but I'm still going to disagree, and I'm going to name all the reasons why I disagree. Right? So before we jump into the video, just hit the like button on your way in if you don't mind, so this video can reach more people like yourself. And to my Patreon members, I will try my best in the next couple of days to have the Martin Luther King documentary bonus edition or editor's edition out in the next couple of days, which I promised over a month ago. I do apologize. I've been so busy making other videos, but I'll try to have that out in the next couple of days or so. Without further ado, let's get into the clip.
Coach Colin here. What's going on, guys? I've been covering a lot, as you guys can see, a lot of parts of this whole Charlie Kirk thing. And there's one part that I have not touched on at all. And I wanted to just get into that because I do think that Candace Owens, I think that her source, these insiders that she's getting information from, I do think I know who it is. I would say the most likely person, in my opinion, based on, and then again, you got to put on your tinfoil Speedo. For those of you that are new, there's been a lot of subscribers recently. You're new. We wear tinfoil Speedos here, okay? Because the hats fall off when we go deep, and we're going deep on this episode. I think the person who she is getting this information from, she's getting this green light to just go on this topic of Charlie Kirk, is not just her own friendship, but I think Erika Kirk has something to do with it. I am not of the party of people who think that she is suspicious. I don't think that she needs to get looked into. What? I really don't give much credence to the whole Romania thing and the Trump connection. I don't look at all that and say there's something there. I think she was a guy's wife, and that guy passed away under very suspicious circumstances. Very suspicious. And, I think she's just now doing what women do after their husbands are taken away. They try to just hold it together. And when they go home at night and they're alone, they fall apart. I think that's what's going on.
You don't believe that, brother. I refuse to believe that you think that. I am not on here. I've never been on here advocating or suggesting or alluding to the fact that Erika Kirk had something done to her husband. I've never suggested that. That's not my position. In fact, my position around the entire Charlie Kirk situation, I'm probably in the minority of what actually happened that day and what actually did not take place that day. Those of you who have been following the channel, you already know where I fall on that. But here's the problem with that. I refuse to believe you, brother. There's no way you believe that her behavior has not been suspicious. Negro, what? We're not saying that the woman had to have something done to her husband, but at the very least, brother, are you kidding me? The problem with making this argument is that when you get into the details of it, you're going to have a hard time making statements like what this guy just said, right? Because, I mean, if you just overarchingly say the Romania thing or her connection to Trump or any of the other points, yeah, it's easy to say that. But when you actually delve into the details of what we talking about when we talking about the Romania thing, the music video, I've made videos on all of this. If you're new to the channel, please go and check them out. The music video, if you get into the details of what was happening in the music video, the names of these people, what was she her organization allegedly accused of in Romania? When you start delving into the details, not just her connection to Trump, what is her connection to Trump? Miss USA, which involved her dressing in bikinis and she wanted super fat, all of these weird details that came out after the fact. Then it gets a bit suspicious. Not to mention, then you start looking at the videos that she's released and the speeches that she gave. You have widows, man. Multiple widows coming out saying, this is off. This is wrong. Something feels off here. You got people wanting to root for TUSA. You got people wanting to root for Erika Kirk. They're saying, listen, I'm just going to be honest. God forgive me if I'm wrong. Something's wrong here. Erika Kirk is not grieving the way that I would expect a widow to grieve. Not that there's a one way to grieve, but there should be some grieving, right? Actors and actresses and body language, experts have all come out and said, in their estimation, this person is acting. In their opinion, everything we say is alleged. Everything I said is alleged in this video. Brother, there's no way you believe what you just said.
That's what my wife would do. I think that's what she's doing. But I do think that it's very, very curious of some things that I've heard. I'll get into what I think more. But I mean, I just wanted to start here because when I saw this clip, and I didn't see it recently, I saw it when everybody else did, but it did kind of spark something in my mind here.
In the immediate hours afterwards, Erika got a call from somebody very important. I'll leave that vague out of privacy, but she got a call from somebody very important. And the question was, what do you know? Sort of asking how much of what's going on behind the scenes and with the relationship, like, what do you know? And her reply back was, everything. I know everything.
Very interesting that he said that, and he says it out loud. Here's the thing about this. This is Andrew Colvet. I think he is also somebody who is closer to Candace than he's letting on. I really do. I know a lot of people think that everyone at Turning Point is suspicious. I mainly look at the security team because just like they dropped the ball they dropped the ball too stupendously for me to just look and be like, oh, well, not them, because they're no. They are something else different than the people who were working. Andrew wasn't even there at the time, but for him to say,
hold up, bro. See, this is what I'm saying. And this is videos like this is what fuels the theories that people have that many of these content creators are being paid to push these. Yes, people can have different opinions and people can have opinions that other people have not thought of before. Yes, I agree. But when you see videos, it's like, have you been watching Andrew Colvet? You believe that Andrew Colvet and Candace Owens is closer than what you think. You do know that Andrew Colvet is an avid advocate of that one foreign nation. The same foreign nation that Candace Owens has been heavily critical of for like the last 2 years that led to her getting fired from her job because Ben Shapiro is a hypocrite. The same foreign nation that has caused rifts in her other professional and personal relationships that she's had with other conservatives. You mean that foreign nation? He's a huge advocate of that foreign nation. Have you seen his behavior? Have you seen him and Erika Kirk's interaction when she appeared on the podcast? Did you see Andrew Colvet appear on a political stage just a few days ago, and he was absolutely embarrassed by Adam Mockler, who was like a 20-year-old progressive kid who don't believe in God? This person, you're saying, bro, I just refuse to believe that you really think these things.
This out loud is very much a statement. You have to remember, in politics, people like to make statements without making statements out loud. Jill Biden was a great example, dressed in all red when she went to go vote, after giving Kamala the cold shoulder and vice versa, after feeling like she was screwed over by their own party. And then she shows up to the polls and she's dressed in all red, signifying she's not voting blue. I think that was one of them. When Andrew did that, he did not have to mention this. He was announcing that Erika was taking over as CEO and that it's something that Charlie always wanted. He did not have to say someone very important called, asked what you know, and then she said, I know everything. He didn't have to say that. He said that for a reason. I'm not sure what the reason was, but also you have to think of this. He says someone very important, and I'll leave that vague, and they asked, what do you know? And she said, I know everything. Who could that have been? To say they're very important. It sounds like the president. That's what it sounds like. Maybe not, maybe JD was closer, so maybe it's Vance.
I agree. It could be the president or the vice president, but I do believe that this is just my opinion. I believe you're giving Andrew Colvet way too much credit here, right? This is the same Andrew Colvet who was staying completely silent as Candace Owens has been saying all these things. And remember, he didn't come out and verify that Charlie Kirk's positions on this foreign nation were changing. At least privately, they were changing. Absolutely. And they were obviously changing publicly, but they were also changing privately. He didn't share that or confirm that, even though Candace was saying it and yelling it from the rooftops until she dropped the text messages. Once she dropped the text messages, all of a sudden he came out and said, okay, the text messages came from me. If they're secretly working with Candace Owens, then he could have just did that from the jump. Why would you come out after the fact? I'm just struggling to see this angle. Sure, it's possible. I don't see Candace Owens and Andrew COVID being buddies. I don't.
I don't know, but someone very important. He just didn't have to mention any of this. He could have said, she's a CEO. It's fantastic. Can't wait to move forward. I think she's going to do a great job. He could have just said that, but he chose to put that message out there. I'm telling you, there's something behind that. Also, another person who did not have to put out this message, but they chose to anyway, Candace. She decided to put this message out.
No one, and I mean absolutely no one, outside of my husband and Erika Kirk has the power to shut me up right now. That's it. No one.
There was no need for that. No one is, listen, you see her lives. There's 5 million, 3 million, 2.5 million. No one's looking for her to be quiet. I mean, there is one side, they're kind of, Philadelphia associated, but I saw a comment recently. Why do you keep saying Philadelphia? Listen, you got to ask somebody in the comments. They'll let you in on it, nice and slow. We're just talking about a place in the Middle East. We call it Philadelphia. But no one's looking for Candace to be quiet. She didn't have to say that, but she made sure to put it out there. Again, when you think about that, she's saying her husband, who's not going to tell her to be quiet. I would imagine being married to her, telling her to be quiet would not serve in your best interests of keeping a peaceful home. That's just me. I just think, I don't know her, never met her. It just seems like that's not what you tell her if you're married to her. Just saying, But she says Erika can tell her to be quiet. She's putting that out there and kind of showing, hey, and this is when she first went on that long, crazy run, and she's coming back tomorrow or today, depending on when this comes out. And she's kind of putting it out there that Erika could tell me to be quiet. And guess what? I'm coming out with these episodes because she hasn't. And then you have to think about that. Why hasn't Erika ever said, be quiet? It's like all she would have to do is just write, hey, Candace, that's enough. And then Candace would be like, okay, I'm done.
Well, first and foremost, I think I can answer that, or at least give you some possibilities, or a strong possibility. First and foremost, I don't think that it's suspicious that Candace Owens named which it was 3 people, by the way, that she said could stop her from speaking about this. She said her husband, she said Erika Kirk, and Candace said her own father. Think about who those 3 people are in relation to this incident. Her husband, who was the leader of their household, or was supposed to be the leader of their household, right? So she said her husband, who could stop her. She said her father, who is probably, her first strong male figure in her life. And Erika Kirk, who is, I don't know, only the wife of the person that this allegedly happened to, right? His children are way too young to be able to even understand what's going on. So it would make sense. Now, when you say the fact that Erika Kirk has not stopped Candace, yeah, because in my opinion, the way I see that is, if Erika Kirk was to entertain or tell Candace, stop looking into this, stop trying to figure out what really happened, do you understand how suspicious that would be? Because here's the thing. One, I personally don't believe that Candace would stop if Erika told her to. I think she would consider it. I think it will baffle her. This is on a 2-dimensional level. I think it will baffle her. And I think she would renege on it. And I think she would come back out and she would continue. But even if she, valued Erika Kirk's request, here's the problem. Candace Owens would then have to come out and say, Erika Kirk asked me to stop looking into it, guys, so I'm going to stop talking about it. Let's talk about Brigitte Macron. Let's talk about what's happening in politics today. Let's talk about these digital IDs in the UK. She would move on. But the fact that she would put that out there, she would have to let people know why she stopped talking about it, right? And then the people are really going to turn on Erika Kirk.
Talk about Macron. Talk about Macron's bulge. That's what we'll talk about. She could just do that. She could talk about getting banned from Australia. She could talk about so many other things. She's good. People are willing to listen. I listened to her talk about Blake Lively for 3 hours. Why? Why'd I do that? She's good. But she's saying that for a reason. There's a sign there. She's showing you that Erika could tell me to be quiet. And here's 5 other episodes in this series as I break down every piece of evidence that I can find. Because she's not telling me to be quiet. Then on top of that, I don't know if you guys know, but Erika followed Candace on Instagram. They weren't following each other before. Now they're following each other. Before they weren't. Now they are. Now, in my mind, tinfoil Speedo on, of course, what happened? They just followed each other and that's it? They didn't talk. They didn't say hello. Nothing. Just followed, and that's it. I don't know. Especially over something like this. What do you think Candace is going to do? Stay silent? She's at the very least going to say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And if you want me to stop, I'll stop. Like, you know what I mean? Candace is, she's out there. She gets wild, but she's also very orderly towards the people that she respects. And she would say something like that. You know, I can stop if you want. How you doing? Something. They talked. Then all of a sudden, and this is after this image, this, what I'm showing you right now, this is after they followed each other. So they followed each other, and then she comes out and says this. I don't know, man. And then I saw this on Instagram. Listen to this.
Well, before we listen to this, which this is the part of the video where I say, like, this is your best argument. If this is your theory, this is part of the best argument to support the theory. But I also don't find it weird that they followed each other because, which we're about to speak about in just a moment. Once again, Candace Owens hasn't been critical of Erika Kirk. She's refrained from doing that. So if you're Erika Kirk, you're noticing this. Yes, that could mean that they're talking behind the scenes, sure. But that in itself, I don't think is weird. And I would also just like to say, I'd like to see proof that they followed each other recently. Because I'd like to see that. Because if you're arguing that Erika Kirk is Candace's secret source, then don't you want to keep that a secret for a reason? If you're following each other on social media, you're letting whoever you're trying to hide this from, you're letting them know that y'all are closer than people think that you are. So why would you do it, right?
I think it's something along these lines. I think this makes sense.
Hear me out. What if Candace Owens is doing the dirty work on behalf of Erika? That they have a secret arrangement? Because I really struggle with the idea that Erika is going to address these rumors and conspiracies and say, yeah, Candace is right on all of it. 'Cause I don't think she's going to. I think she might mildly agree with some of it. But right now, Erika is surrounded by politicians, the president, the government, CIA, FBI, donors who had millions and millions in their pocket that they were trying to give to Charlie so that he would speak a certain way. There's too much money at stake. There's too much life at stake. And I've even seen people throw out the idea that maybe Erika is going to move into politics. She's been so strong and posed during this time. She's winning America's hearts, and who knows, maybe this is setting her up for like future VP. I'm obviously just throwing out ideas and conspiracies. You don't have to like jump on any of this. But Candace continues to talk really highly of Erika as if they've already had a secret conversation. And she has said many times she will stop talking about any of this. She will drop operations if Erika or her husband ask her to. Erika has had the opportunity to ask Candace to stop, and she hasn't. So what does that mean? Okay.
Exactly. What does that mean? What you got to think, and just starting on what she was saying, Candace has been talking very highly of her. Now, if you feel like, of course she's going to, but here's the thing: Candace is leaving no stone unturned. There's a whole, for sure. She has a tip line. I know I have people sending me information. She probably has thousands of people sending information, producers and all sorts of people going through that information. You think they've never got the tip about Erika Kirk and, Miss Universe and being linked to Trump and in the Romania thing? And you think she hasn't heard any of that stuff? You think she doesn't know anything about that? She for sure does. And it's a rabbit hole that she's chosen not to go down. And that, to me, says something. Now, it says, in my mind, it says that there's not much there because she actually knows Erika.
I'll be sure to link the full video, the original video here in the description, because I believe it's like another 10 minutes long. Let me first say shout out to the comment section under this woman who was just speaking. Under her, it appeared to be Instagram or TikTok. Shout out to the people in the comment section because it seemed like they weren't buying it. And shout out to the people under Coach Colin's video. I'm not saying that everybody's supposed to always agree with you. No, that's the nature of what we do. You're going to have people to disagree. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it seemed to be like 90% of his comments and 90% of the comments under this woman's video of people not buying it because, again, like I said at the beginning, there's so many things you're going to have to overlook. Yes, I do, for what it's worth, find it suspicious that Candace Owens has chosen not to talk about Erika Kirk. My reason for that is because Candace Owens, I think, again, on a two-dimensional level, I think that Candace Owens understands that if she is supposed to come out the gate and you're immediately noticing all the red flags, I don't know, like Erika Kirk grieving weird, right? Let's just put it that way. Grieving weirdly. You find now you're seeing all these posts about Erika Kirk's. A couple of my videos have went viral. So about Erika Kirk, I'm not saying that Candace Owens seen it, but her team may have seen it. You don't think that? Yeah, I think that she's seen it. But I think the reason why she hasn't talked about it is because if she come immediately out the gate mentioning these things, people are going to say what they've already been saying about her since everything gets started. And that is that she's accusing Erika. Candace has really went crazy. She's accusing this this man's wife of being involved, of not grieving properly. What is she alluding to? And then that could potentially open up to lawsuits, and she could lose a lot of support if you do it too early, right? I said like a week and a half ago, like maybe closer to, no, I said like 2 weeks ago, Candace Owens is eventually going to say something about Erika Kirk. And I was wrong that I said she was going to do it the following week. She hasn't done it yet. But what she has done is she's inched her way there. And she said, what? Y'all aren't grieving properly. She refuses to say Erika's name. But that's been the number one person everybody on the internet has been talking about when the conversation comes up about not grieving properly. Candace Owens has said, y'all aren't grieving properly. She said that herself. She said that Charlie Kirk's life was truly the Truman Show. The biggest character in the Truman Show that turned on him was his wife. Not to mention, when you go to Candace Owens' page, don't worry about the gag order in the Charlie Kirk case. I plan to violate it on the world's behalf. The things I've discovered this past week are enough to burn the house down. Yes, Charlie Kirk was betrayed by everyone. She didn't say everyone, by everyone but Erika. She didn't say by everyone but TPUSA. She didn't say by everyone but Trump. She didn't say by everyone but his family. She said by everyone. Sure, she don't mean every single person that he's ever known and been close to in his life, but by default, it is safe for us to assume that she's meaning all the important characters in his life. I think that's a safe assumption, right? So no, there's a lot you're going to have to ignore when it comes to Erika Kirk. I do not believe that she's his source. She's the Candace Owens' source, because all the things that Candace Owens has been doing is only going to hurt Erika Kirk's image, in the sense that as long as you continue to remind people that what they're telling us about Charlie Kirk is not the truth, then we're going to always remember all the things that Candace Owens refuses to talk about, which is the weird behavior by everyone, including Erika Kirk, right? But y'all in the comment section, give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. As always, I just wanted to react to this because it seems like this video is probably going to go do close to 500,000 if it continues at this pace. So I wanted to hop on it early and just give my thoughts and just say I disagree. Yeah, I think it's weird that she hasn't talked about Erika, but I don't think it's because Erika is the source. All right, but y'all in the comment section and give me your thoughts, man. Until next time, peace. Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.